COVID thing? Okay.
Just go ahead and close out of that. You know what, the X, yeah, because it'll come on. It'll show up there. 'Cause if you don't, we get feedback. Is Lulu on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right, y'all ready to get started?
Whenever
ma'am.
you are ready.
Okay, I'll do the pledge, and Chris is going to give the prayer for us. Okay, I'll stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state,
One
under God,
under God, one and indivisible.
Bow your head with me and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you right now and we just thank you for another day to do your will. I just want to pray for the first responders right now, God. Protect them, keep them healthy, and just show them your good graces. I pray for our county right now as we make decisions that will impact our residents and our employees. I pray that you give us wisdom and you just give us your will and allow us to find that will and to do it. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Thanks, Chris. Okay, does anyone have any questions on the bills?
I did not.
I didn't. The only question I have, it reminded me looking at the bills. Mark, where are we? We're looking at the credit card policy. Are we anywhere on that as far as departmental credit cards?
I've got a written policy that I guess the commissioner's court needs to review, but I haven't given it to you yet. I can make copies and give it to you.
Okay.
I've got a question on the bills. On the ones that need a PO, it looks to me like maybe we're paying Wagner twice. Because one of them up here is for to the courthouse is for let's see.
COVID supplies?
Yeah, it's a $1,093.21. And then down a ways, about 3 or 4 down on the, it's got Wagner Supply again and has COVID supplies, November 23rd, and cleaner towels. And if you add those two together, you come up with $1,093.21.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
if you add that whole line up, well, you come to the $36,539.99. So it appears to me we're paying that $1,093.21 twice.
Okay, I'll check on that before we release the check.
All right, but it looked like they just put it in 2 different places. One time they broke it out between the 2 departments, and the other time they just had it all to the courthouse.
Yeah, it's the same invoice number too. I didn't even catch that. So
Yeah,
right.
but it all adds up to what it adds up to the bottom there.
Right.
Okay, anything else?
That's all I had.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the bills with the correction, the possibility of the correction.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 4 is to consider and or approve payroll. We have
Okay, I think I sent the payroll to y'all quite a while ago.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the payroll ending, did I give you one, Gina? I didn't send it to you.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I'll get you one. Okay. This is for November the 30th, and the total on the payroll was $850,112.83. And our only change is Rosa Rangel went to work in the museum part-time on December the 1st.
Kathy, did you say you emailed that out this morning?
Do what?
Did you say you just sent that out?
No, I sent it out
No.
like,
Last week or the week before?
It
Yeah.
was last week.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you made it.
I think it was like the end of November I sent it out.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you need it, just holler at me.
No,
Okay?
no, I've got that one. I just didn't know if you sent out something. With
Oh, no, we haven't paid again. No, I haven't paid once a month. Okay. Sorry.
Do y'all have a motion?
Make a
I
motion,
make a motion, prove it.
and I'll second, I guess.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 5, any additions or corrections to our previous commissioners' court meeting?
No corrections, that was November 23rd meeting.
Okay. Public comments. Item 7, consider, discuss, approve any and all items necessary or pertaining to the county jail. Monica, are you gonna talk about that, or is the sheriff, or?
I can. Open Range is here, starting their work this morning. The PO we got is for $24,400. They're expected to be here approximately 2 weeks. We had to empty 12 of our beds. That's one whole dorm. And after speaking with them this morning, we're going to have to clear out another dorm, which means we're going to lose an additional 12 beds. So sometime today, I'm going to have to come talk to the courts and see what we can do about our overflow. Carson County is housing 4 for us right now. We've got 48 inmates in our facility. 9 of them are females and 39 are males. And but we are going to have to see what we can do to move some people around, because being down 24 beds, it's definitely going to be a very trying time.
Are you having difficulty housing them with other counties?
Carson County is really the only ones that are available to help us right now. Other counties aren't taking any inmates. They're also having to do like what we are and not accept all charges because of COVID. We're not able to accept all charges right now. Sometimes some of our officers are having to file their cases and get a warrant later because we're not able to accept all the charges right now. We've been thankful that Carson has been able to help us out some.
Anything further on the jail?
I don't know if Russell is Russell going to talk about our camera situation?
Well, Captain, yeah, I talked to Russell earlier today, and we got a quote from Axis. Those are the people that are going to be working on the camera system. As you all know, the old camera system we've had some issues with it. We've lost some video at times, which causes more work for our jailers having to do more cell checks more often. When we spoke to them, the quote that we got, they're saying it's going to be about $33,000 to replace. We're having to get a new server and other stuff, because we're trying to keep the same camera system so that we don't have to buy more cameras. In order for us to keep the digital as long as we keep the analog as well, it's going to require us to buy more equipment. So that's where we're at with that. And I know Red was there, Commissioner Red was there also when Daniel came in to talk to us. I believe Mr. Kaufman as well. It's a little bit, I don't know, Red, did you talk to the other commissioners?
No, I haven't talked to anyone about
Okay.
it. I figured we'd take care of all that today in court.
Okay, all right. But we did get a quote for $33,000, which it's a lot better than 80-some thousand, which is what the other company was trying to charge us to come come to town and fix it.
But on that 80-something thousand, we still had to do a bunch of prep work before they'd even come in and look at that.
That is correct. We would have to do a lot of stuff, and we would still be tied down to their terms if we were to go with that other company. I know when we spoke to Daniel, which is the tech that came by, he said that he was going to get with our IT personnel so that they'll be familiar with the system and they'll be able to work on it as they need to. Which right now they really can't because of the other company.
Priority of it is kind of got us held up.
Right. They're very proprietary. Yeah. And that's the issue right there, that if something goes wrong with the pre-existing system, we're having to go and contact them and having to pay for travel time. We're having to pay for their lodging and all that stuff, plus their time. So it makes more financial sense to go with this company out of Amarella, because we wouldn't have to spend as much money every time they come and try to help us out. And I know go ahead.
At this point right now, when we even reach out to them, 9 times out of 10, we can't get a hold of anybody. And if we're able to leave a message, we don't get a call back. What little bit we have gotten help is from Stephen and, well, it's not a little bit. The help that we have gotten is what Stephen and Russell have been able to do, which they're limited, like what Mr. Isbell said, what they can do.
A little bit more information for the commissioners of what's happening. The problem that's happening is that the current server is shutting down and it takes forever for it to come back up. Then, we're afraid eventually it's not ever going to come back up. The
Correct.
Solution to this problem and what Daniel is proposing to us is to separate the cameras from the locking system. And we will have equipment that Daniel and our IT people can work on. And I think this will be a much better system. I think in the future, we're going to need to look at the possibility of what's happening with the locks also with this company. I think it's important to keep us upgrading our systems where we have control. And this company has not ever really worked with us very well. So I think this would be the first step to get this process in a manual that we can handle more efficiently.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And the price of it is cheap enough that we really don't have to go out for bid on it. And then if the sheriff has it in his budget, as far as I'm concerned, he can go ahead and get it.
And we do, commissioners. We reviewed the budget and we do have the money to do that without having to come to y'all and ask for more money at this time.
Well, you have my vote to go ahead and do it, which doesn't take a vote.
Yeah.
Oh, it don't take a vote, but
Got my support too.
Thank y'all.
Get with Pam or Mark and get a PO on that.
something else on the jail. They found a crack back there in A dorm in the corner. And I talked to Childers Brothers and he came over and looked at it. He said he didn't feel like it was a structural problem because the floor wasn't cracked. He said he felt like if the foundation was drooping a little, the floor would be cracked also. And just caulking it with some good caulk that would take expansion and contraction of the cement to seal that crack.
Yes, and Mr. Watson is going to come take care of that while I have that dorm closed down.
Great.
Great. Hey, anything else on the jail?
Not that I can think of.
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 8, consider, discuss, approve any and all items necessary or pertaining to the county courthouse.
James called me the other day and he said he wished that he could have got that finished this year, and I told him I did too. But with the COVID the way it is, it doesn't look like we're going to get to. So he said that just quick as we could let him get to it, he would be to get it done.
We'll just contact him hopefully sometime after the first year and get that project started, finished, hopefully.
Right.
Anything else on the courthouse?
The only other thing I know of, Cindy, is I thought that we had a warranty or contract with someone to take care of our chiller. I mean, our generator, I'm sorry, but we don't. I talked to a fellow the other day and he said for $275 a year for each one of the generators, he would come over twice a year, inspect them, and do an oil change on each one of them once a year. But that didn't include any work. But if there's any work, it'd be $90 an hour and plus parts. And that's all he does is generators. So I don't know if we'd be interested in talking to him further or whether just handle it as we go.
I think it'd be good to have someone that is set up to make sure we get those checks done and don't forget about them and then have a difficult problem.
So Red, do you want to see if he can submit some type of a contract to us or review?
He can submit a contract for the 275, and he was supposed to got back to me on the maybe having something where he could put a contract for labor, so much for a year's worth of labor and plus parts. But he probably got called up Friday, and I wasn't in where I could be gotten a hold of either Friday. So it probably I could contact him today and see if we can get something set up.
Okay, see if you can get something for us and we'll look it over. Okay,
All right.
anything else on the courthouse?
It looks beautiful and the lights are all lit up.
It does, looks great.
AD did a good job.
Yeah,
Yes,
they
it
worked hard on that. All right, item 9, consider and or approve continuation certificate for Pam Nicholas, Deputy Auditor, in the amount of $5,000 and Jerry Langwell, Fire Marshal, in the amount of $5,000.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Item 10 is to consider and or approve bonds for Gary Alexander and Benjamin Bentley in the amount of $3,000, Terry Webster and Scott Jordan in the amount of $2,000, Craig Jones in the amount of $2,500, and Kerry Kimmel in the amount of $100,000.
Make a motion to approve this.
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Item 11 is to consider and or approve to close the text pool accounts for juvenile grant C and juvenile title and transfer the balances to juvenile special. Do you have some info on that, Kathy?
Well, we have been working, we had 2 small accounts in the juvenile department. And I've talked to Jeremy about this starting the year before last, and I visited with the outside auditor. It was somebody that worked for them. His name was Nick, and I talked to him last year. He didn't have a clue what to do with it. So when John Messer, our other one, came there, I talked to him last week, and he told me that I could get rid of these 2 accounts and move them into juvenile special. Juvenile special is not really state money. It is county. It's on the probation fees of those juveniles, and it comes in. So they're not great amounts. One of them $69.25, and the other's $3,574.97. But that was John's suggestion, is to transfer those into juvenile special, and that'll be 2 less accounts. Because these 2 grants are not ever going to happen again. So I just wanted it through the minutes that I was clearing out text pool accounts and putting it in where it's supposed to go. Okay, good. So now,
Do I have a motion for Kathy to do that?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second to move those accounts over to juvenile special. Any further discussion? All in favor? Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you.
All right, item 13 is to consider and or approve allowing Deputy Hartram to purchase the bulletproof vest issued to her.
I think we skipped number 12, Judge.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry. Yes, I did. I was getting too happy with my pen. So item 12 is to consider a certificate pay for a jailer who earned the certificate before October 2020 and transferring the money from the sheriff's or the jail to the sheriff's office to the jail line item. And is Brooklyn on? She was maybe going to explain.
Yes, she's here.
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, Brooklyn, do you want to explain that to the commissioners?
Yeah, so we had a jailer complete her certificate well before we were budgeting for the certificate pay, and I made a mistake and overlooked it. We do have $600 sitting in the jail side for her certificate pay, and then we have additional money and then we have additional money in our sheriff's office side. We're wanting to transfer the $600 over to the jail side and pay her October and November back pay for certificate pay, and then catch up for December. It's $100 a month.
Any questions?
Kathy, is there any difficulties in your department for doing this? Any accounting problem?
So, because what we'll do is at the end of December, we'll pay her that 300, and then in January, the end of January, we'll start again with just 100. And of course, I explained this to Brooklyn, that during the year, we do not let these people come in and get certificate pay like that. It's October 1st. But because of this era, then we need to go ahead and do that. Yeah.
Make a recommendation, we follow the procedures.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second.
All right, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now we are on item 13, to consider and or approve deputy to purchase the bulletproof vest issued to her. And is Chief there? Was he going to talk about this? Or are you going to, Sheriff? Oh, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Chief is busy at the time right now, but yeah, he did give me the invoice for the vest that it was ordered for her. The vest, it's $1,035, and she was wondering if she could be allowed to purchase the vest. It was measured and tailored to her size and everything, so it's very specific to the person. So if for some reason she wasn't to have a job after the first of the year, that vest would be kind of hard for another female to wear it, because again, it was tailored to her person. So she was wondering if she could buy it. And obviously the money would go back into our budget, and because we have to buy another vest for the new employee, Ms. Daniels, the new deputy. So we would try to use that money to buy her a new vest.
So is she no longer going to be with us after the first of the year?
Well, she doesn't know that for sure, but either way, she wants to buy the vest since she likes it and everything. And so that really would benefit the department as far as money-wise, because if for some reason she was not to have a job after the first of the year, the money would not be out any money. You see, I mean, the county would not be out any money, because we would reimburse that money back into our account and buy the new vest for Ms. Daniels. So as it stands, if the vest doesn't, if you guys choose not to let her buy that vest, then we would retain the vest, but we might not be able to use it again unless we hire someone about the same size as her.
So the purchase price was $1,035?
Yes, ma'am. That's the invoice I'm looking at $1,035.
Okay.
So if she's allowed to buy the vest, we'll take the money, go back into our budget and reuse it.
Okay.
Mark, give us advice.
Well, the government code says that when an officer retires, the commissioner's court can approve sale of equipment to them that they were using. It really talked about firearms, but this would probably fall in the same code. So as long as she's an employee, I don't know if we can do that or not without putting it up for public bid.
But if
So is it
if
the
for
only
some reason-
retirement, or is it any type of separation?
Well, it's any kind of separation.
Okay.
So in other words, if she doesn't have a job, then she could buy the vest.
Yes.
with our approval.
Are no longer employed, yes. With the county.
As long as she's a current employee of the county, then no.
We'd have to put it up for public bid if she's still an employee.
I understand. Okay, that makes sense. I will let her know. Thank y'all.
There no action on that? We don't need a motion or anything. Okay, well, no action on item 13 then at this time. All right, item 14 is our update on COVID. Jerry, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, I like that background.
Okay, let me see here. Okay, on our current COVID numbers, the state has added a couple of new little features in for us on our reporting website, but currently right now we have 772 positive cases, and then they've added another tab in there of probable cases. These are cases that have had a rapid test or something that they hadn't had a PCR test to confirm it, but they've had a positive, say, rapid test. So they've added that tab in there. We're at 292 probable cases, which brings us to 1,064 total cases. Currently, our active cases in Hutchinson County are 244. And unfortunately, our fatalities have went up quite a few over the last couple of days. We're up to 32 fatalities. Our regional hospital data, regional is we have 7 ICU beds available. Our Amarillo Northwest BSA capacity is at 91%. Our Borger, these are the numbers I got today from Borger Hospital. Borger ICU is at 100%, and our Med-Surg unit, which is another wing of the hospital that we've kind of changed over to COVID patient only, is at 60% right now. So I think we have 4 beds available locally. I guess the big topic right now is the vaccine. It seems like that's been my life for the last 2 or 3 weeks, is nothing but vaccine stuff. And the state has, just like any government operation, has made it very lengthy, cumbersome as far as making sure you're registered. We have registered distributors in Hutchinson County. As of right now, we have 6 registered distribution locations in Hutchinson County. 2 of those are going to be for our phase 1, or actually 3 of those will be for phase 1 distribution, which is very specific in Department of Sales Services guidelines. They've broken it out into 2 different phases, or phase 1 and phase 2. But under phase 1, you have phase 1A, and then you have 2 tiers under phase 1A, and then you have phase 1B. Phase 1A, tier 1, is going to be all of our healthcare professionals, of course. It's kind of, they're being very specific as far as making sure we get this out to healthcare, and as a lot of it's pointing directly at the hospital systems. We got to make sure we get out to the hospital systems, and of course long-term care facilities. So making sure we get it to the nurses and whatnot at the nursing homes. As far as vaccine allocation, we have registered with the state as far as a allocation system. They tell us pretty much every week who's getting allocations for vaccine. We got that last week. Hutchinson County And we were kind of expecting, being the smaller county, we wouldn't get the first allocation, which we didn't. They did ship 2 allocations to Amarillo. Texas Tech University and Northwest Texas Hospital received the first 2 allocations of the Pfizer vaccine for the Texas Panhandle, which is the Pfizer vaccine comes in about 975 doses per minimum. And Texas Tech and Northwest both received 2 minimum allocations. So they received around 2,000 doses in Amarillo today. And like I said, they're starting to already activate their plan as far as getting vaccine distribution. Hudson County currently has a plan. We have set up a core group of emergency management, and we have a local doctor and a local pharmacy that we have put in this core group to develop this plan to make sure we follow our Department of State Health Services guidelines of getting this vaccine out to the appropriate people. As far as polling for the vaccine, it's another thing that they've kind of asked us to do. I know if you have a Hutchinson County email or you're in our system, as far as Hutchinson County employees, we sent out a poll for employees just to kind of get a baseline. And right now, currently, we're looking at about 70% said they would get the vaccine. So it's actually, increased a little bit as far as, the vaccine and getting the information out to people, at least where they look at getting it. He said the vaccine is definitely, it's a voluntary vaccine. It was issued under emergency use authorization. So it's not a mandatory vaccine whatsoever, but we said it's hopefully going to be, how everybody's talking about it, a light at an end of a tunnel, but we'll see. It's going to be several months before we get there. Personal protective equipment, we're still doing really well with personal protective equipment. We're still issuing that out, but right now we have another kind of side to that, is we got to make sure we kind of increase our stockpile a little bit, because we have to make sure that every person that comes in and gets a vaccine, we're able to protect the person that's giving that vaccine to each individual person. So a lot of logistics in play. I said it's been a lot, but that's what I got so far.
Thanks, Jerry.
Yep.
Any questions?
I have, Jerry, is it, am I on? Are you on?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We're kind of echoing. I noticed last week when I was looking at the figures published by the state that we had a large increase over a short period of time. Was that due to more testing? Do they have any idea what that jump was caused by?
No, as far as our local testing, it's been relatively about the same. It's been, I guess with our smaller facilities and clinics, we have availability of more rapid testing now. I can tell you one doctor's office that received 2 of the Binax rapid testing machines, very expensive machines, but they received 2 of them just last week, and now they can do about 50 patients a day of rapid testing on each machine. So that's 100 more people they can do. So honestly, it depending on with those coming into play, we might actually see an even bigger spike. But as far as prior to these numbers right now, I don't think testing is coming up a little bit with the availability, especially with the TEA system that they'd put into play with the schools. That's kind of on a different tier, but the schools have a rapid testing kit. It's a card that it's only available to students and to staff, but it's a 15-minute local test they can do at the school. And we're receiving quite a few positives on those now. I know that Stinnett ISD had reported like 30 positives since they had started that testing process. So it's, I'm not sure what it is now. That was a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So the availability of rapid testing, we're definitely going to see these numbers going up. And we're getting a lot more rapid testing availability.
Thanks.
Okay. Anything else, commissioners?
Item 15, Jerry, any action we need to take at present?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, very good.
Oh, there was one thing I forgot to mention,
Yes.
was that the LEPC, this was a kind of a group effort here. Phillips 66, LEPC and Phillips 66 kind of got together on a grant for a ultra cold freezer unit. You know, everybody knows the Pfizer vaccine has to have a ultra cold freezer unit. Those things are quite expensive. But the LEPC had actually went to Phillips 66 and asked about if they would be interested in helping out with that. And they definitely thought that would be something good for the community. But with the Golden Plains Hospital contracting, we were able to get a better price. So between Phillips 66, LEPC, and the hospital, we were able to order one of these ultra cold freezer units. And that will be put at a location, one of our registered locations in Borger. So that also, the good part about that is it doesn't restrict us to one vaccine. Most of the rural communities, we're going to look at having to have the lesser restrictive vaccine as far as storage, but this should open us up to any vaccine that's available. So it's a benefit to Hutchinson County.
That's great. Good work, Brian. Okay. Item 16 is to consider and or approve the burn ban or rescind the burn ban. Jerry, do you have anything on that?
I would say no action, just obvious reasons.
Okay. Jerry, will it stop that? You got it. All right, item 17 is to consider and approve disposal of obsolete office equipment. I have one request from the county clerk's office for disposal of some office equipment.
So move.
A couple of printers and a monitor. So Chris made the motion. Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion second to dispose of that. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, great. Item 18, accept certificates of completion from elected or appointed officials.
I don't have any.
19, consider and or approve request for use. Oh, why do I keep that in there? I need to mark that out. Or at least leave it off for a little bit. I'm afraid I'll forget it. Item 20 is to consider and or approve line item changes, transfers, and or budget amendments. Mark?
The library and the museum had their roof repairs done, and those insurance proceeds are in last year's budget. So this will be an amendment to the library and the museum. Let's see, the library is $41,100.51, and the museum is $44,869.36. Those repairs have been done and have been accepted.
Make a motion, we accept these amendments.
Have we received that depreciation check yet?
No, I had to call them and get that.
Okay. I'll second that.
Motion and second to make that amendment to the museum and library. Any further discussion? All in favor?
And then I've got one other. The elections grant in the amount of $14,404 was received, and the account 490-5700 needs to be amended by that much based on revenues.
So move.
Second.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor?
And that's all.
Item 21 is to consider and or approve advertising, opening, accepting, or awarding bids.
There's not any.
Thank you. Item 22, consider and or approve donations to Hutchinson County. Anybody got a donation? All right. 23, accept reports from elected or appointed officials.
I have November reports, the county clerk, district clerk, JP1, JP2, airport, library, and Dwayne.
Okay, so thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry I forgot to email this to you. I'll do this as soon as I get back to the office. This is for November 2020, and our bank balance at the end of November was $27,477.25, and then our tax pool balance at the end of November was $8,685,276.42. And the tax pool rate is 0.10. And we did get money in last week from well, this has a little bit of tax money, but last Wednesday we wired out about $5 million. So she's got her big money in, and now it's going to start going down as we go. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Kathy.
Thank you.
All right, item 24, discussion of county judges and commissioners precinct daily operations. Do y'all have anything?
I have none.
Chris had something. Okay, well, I have something. Okay, so I have received some excellent resumes for the position for Commissioner Precinct 2 and have made the decision to appoint Dwight Kirksey to that position. So we will be posting for an emergency meeting for tomorrow at 10, and we'll get approval of his bond and hopefully get him sworn in tomorrow at 10 a.m. So again, I'll post a Zoom link for anyone who wants to view that swearing in ceremony and meeting. Any questions? Okay. Item 25. Oh, let me go back up to 24. Our next meeting and our final meeting for the year will be December the 28th at 9:30. We will, because that's going to be Commissioner Isabel and Commissioner Kaufman's last meeting, we are going to meet in person. We're going to try really hard to social distance, everybody wear a mask. We will be having a come and go retirement for them, for the county employees that wish to come by, and just wish them well for the years of service. So our next meeting will be in person. Okay. All right, and item 25 is to consider and to approve the sale of struck off tax properties. I have, Chris, do you have any? Did I send you any?
I wouldn't send any.
Okay, all right. I have two. Both of them are out at Fritz. The first one is 213 Sage Mesa. And I drove by there yesterday and looked at it. There is a structure on the property. It's an old, smaller trailer. And it appears to be in pretty rough shape. There's lots of debris, a broken down fence. So this is located at 213 Sage Mesa. Submitting an offer of $300 has been made by Clinton Todd Bond of Fritch. Taxes have not been paid since 1994. It was struck off November 17th of 2016 and appraised at $3,110. Looks like there's a couple of empty lots on either side of it. So, but he's submitted a bid of $300. And I would make the motion that we accept that bid.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, the other property is located at 304 Yellowhammer Loop. Now, I did not go by there. I believe that's out in Bugby. And submitting an offer of $300 has been made by Charlotte Lookingville of Sanford. Taxes have not been paid since 2008. The property was struck off to the entities May the 30th of 2014 and appraised at $630. It appears to be an empty lot with some debris on it.
Make a motion to accept the offer.
Motion
Second.
and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Does anybody have anything else? Okay, if not, I will see you all tomorrow at 10 on Zoom, and we will get our new commissioner sworn in at that time. Okay, thanks, y'all.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hmm.